let it ride. Yeah, adoption pod.
Mick and Mike, yeah, they on the air. Breaking walls with that crypto flair. Deep dives roll, yeah, minds aware. Good vibes float everywhere. Tapping now, yeah, the stream go live. Big ideas, feel the energy rise. If you here right now, then you ride on time. Welcome to the future, enjoy the ride. Hands up, yeah, let it load. Sound check, let the people load. Check, yeah, feel the vibe, let the beat unfold. When it drops, yeah, the story told. Adoption pod, yeah, here we go. Crypto flows, let the knowledge grow. Breaking chains, watch the future glow. Adoption pod, they run the show. Let's go. Yeah, da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. Yeah, pioneers with minds so bright, lighting paths in the crypto night. Questions fly, answers ignite, changing lives left and right. From the blocks to the blockchain age, real talk when they hit that stage. If you're learning something, then mission complete. Mass adoption start with a seed. Adoption pod, yeah, here we go. Crypto flows, let the knowledge grow. Breaking chains, watch the future glow. Adoption pod, they run the show. Blocks are building, truth revealed. Digital world, a brighter field. Yeah, masses learning, wounds are healed. This is the future, the deal is sealed. Locked in, adoption pod. Yeah, here we go. Crypto flows, let the knowledge grow. Breaking chains, watch the future glow. Adoption pod, they run the show. Run it. Adoption pod. Adoption pod. Adoption pod.
Yo, welcome to episode 28 of the Adoption Pod. We back another week, another Tuesday, another bloody day in the markets.
I don't want to talk about it.
How are we feeling about crypto? Are we cooked?
We're so back. It's just the part of the cycle where it's like, it's so over, we're so back, it's so over, we're so back until we decide like a major direction. But maybe today was deciding a major direction. I actually made money on a short. So
That's
a sign. If I'm doing well predicting down markets, it might be a bear market.
Yeah, for real. Exactly. Yeah, it's
If I'm having success, then overall the sentiment must just be, I never short.
It's actually funny. You won a short today, and I won a long today. Yeah, I got
trading?
Bitcoin on a bounce. I got Bitcoin on a little bounce today, and then it was just a quick scalp. No, I was in there for like 10 minutes, but yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll have our guests come on. We're here with Alec today, advisor with the OKX network, and is he the founder of Clipper University?
Yeah, so I think he's the founder and on the team there. Also, Bing Bong events, which are the most lit events. If you've ever been to a crypto conference, you cannot miss out on those. Yo, Faded, how are you?
Yo, what's going on?
Have I been to a Bing Bong event? I think I have. Maybe in I feel like I was at one in Vegas.
Maybe 2 years ago. I don't know.
You guys weren't there last year?
No, we did Vegas back in like 2023. So we did Vegas back, it was a while ago. So that was during the Azuki Vegas event. And then we've done.
Was that the Golden Skateboard year?
That was a Golden Skateboard. There was a lot of crazy shit that was happening. So that was around that time. And we've done events Paris, New York multiple times, Miami multiple times, Dubai, Singapore, Paris. It's
just like a little baby company just getting started,
we just really at the end of the day, the story of that is just like a group of friends that we really loved going to these conferences and like going to all these events together. But the events themselves would be like kind of whack, like just say it sorry, like it just it's just not fun. So we decided to basically start putting our own events together, which is what, made it really, really fun. And I think very, really like valuable. Like there's a lot of companies and like business relationships that are formed at a lot of these like IRL events.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy to see. So right now, I saw someone just post it. Sorry, I don't want to go on like a crazy rant, but like
No,
just
we
like
tangent away here, so feel free.
I saw someone just post this earlier today, and they were posting about how like the time they were at like Lumper,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
the Jupiter thing, right?
Cat
And they were like,
Lamper.
"Yo, the timeline is so depressing, but yet IRL, everybody I'm talking to is like super excited about crypto and like really looking forward to what's coming next, etc." So then it made me start to think, right? I'm like, it probably is the case. Like when you're at a lot of these IRL events, like these are people that are actually working and like
Mhm.
doing stuff and like building
Yeah.
stuff,
Not just the
right?
talking
Whereas,
heads that like to criticize all the builders who are building stuff.
hey, you said it, not me.
I
You said
mean,
it, not me.
I've
So
been there. I've been a, just a KOL for a while, and I had I
yeah,
got in a fight with Kaido, then my account got banned, and then I
It's
back,
hard not to
back,
be
back.
bullish in the space like long term, right? Like we know where this is going, and to be honest, when it comes to like adoption of crypto, we're way more adopted than we ever were, like 5 years ago, right? Like with the government getting into an institution. So like it's hard not to be bullish, but like again, when you're just there to make money, when you're in the space just for money, then your incentives are not lined up, and then you're not going to have a good time, especially on the timeline. You're going to be coping on the timeline when your portfolio is
yeah.
massively in the red.
But I will say this. I will say this. This whole industry dies tomorrow if all the traders disappear. So that hyper speculative sort of PvP fucking COD Warzone like element to it is a part of what makes it special and lucrative and attractive for outside talent. We're seeing that right now in the AI space, right? We're
Yeah.
seeing that right now in the AI space every single day. Really, really smart, capable engineers and people are coming to crypto because let's be honest, they see the gold rush. They're like, oh shit, there's a
Yeah.
lot of money being made
Yeah.
here.
I'm learning AI now so I can capitalize better on the goal,
Right.
I'm not going to let these AI fools come in and like school us because they have all these tools. We need
I
You think
exit
these robots are going to pay each other in cash? It's going to be digital currency,
They're
right?
already doing it. I don't know if you
That's
know about
crazy.
X402, and also the thing that just launched on Binance, literally like or BSC like an hour, 2 hours ago. But X402 basically allows agent to agent commerce using crypto. Also, BankerBot just released on Solana and allows the same thing. So you could launch an AI agent with a coin that creates its own wallet, can make its own website, can launch its own X community, can manage its own Telegram, can manage the community, and like can just do all that shit. And the only thing I mean, at the
How
end
do
of the
you
day,
stand out in that world where the barrier to entry is just so low that literally anybody can come in? Because one of the things I want to talk to you about is I've watched you iterate and grow through several bear markets and multiple years here, and you're always at the forefront of the metas. You're always where you need to be at the like. How the fuck do you do that? First of all, and like, yeah, start there.
you create the metas.
Yeah.
That's the actual secret sauce, right? Like at the end of the day, anyone like watching, learning, participating, you are a part of creating metas. Whatever you're spending your
Attention.
time and attention on every single day is becoming more and more valuable and important. So like when people are like AI meta, it's this and that, it's like that is happening. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Yeah.
right? If everyone thinks it's like a really, really, really big important thing and then
Yeah.
makes it their point to talk about why it's a really big important thing, then that's kind of what takes off. I noticed that on Twitter specifically about 5 or 6 years ago. About 5 or 6 years ago, I started growing my account specifically within the crypto space, and I realized like domino effects sometimes. Like I'll start public like posting or talking about something, and then I would notice a couple hours later, I would start seeing it a lot more on the timeline.
Yeah.
So then once you realize that, and you realize like, oh shit, like at the end of the day, metas and narratives, one, there's a couple different ways of tracking that. It's where is the money? Where are people investing? So when you have A16Z, or if you're studying like Y Combinator projects, and you see that like most 90% of them are AI related, then you know, hey, the next thing will be AI related. If you're looking at current market conditions, Pump Fund, Hyperliquid, right? Those are high revenue businesses disguised as tokens and protocols, right? Like at the end of the day, like they're businesses. Pump Fund makes $1 to $2 million a day. Hyperliquid could make up to 20 million a day, daily, like every single day. Insane numbers. This is competitive with most S&P 500 companies. And Hyperliquid has like 12 employees, 12 or 13.
Will it last?
Blast?
Will it last?
Will it last? My thesis on Hyperliquid specifically is getting stronger by the day. The reason I say that is because every other market is very clear, cut and dry, heavily manipulated, whether that's metals, Bitcoin, the stock market. People have said that about for years. I think Hyperliquid, especially if you think about it like this, Hyperliquid did a fair distribution airdrop to their own community, right? So like it's quite literally that same decentralized ethos that is part of what makes Bitcoin so special and important.
Explain that difference for our listeners, because we have a lot of newer people. So like, what does a fair token launch distribution look like? How does the company get it right? And what are some examples of where people
Hyperliquid launched as a product.
Yes.
What is the product? They launched as a perpetual decentralized exchange. Where they were revolutionary as a product is multiple things. One, being highly performative. So being able to process transactions at the same speed and capacity as most central exchanges. Not all of them, but most of them. And open order books, right? So Hyperliquid has completely transparent and open order books, which is something that centralized exchange traders never had access to before. And if you're a high leverage trader on Binance, you're trading, let's say 100 million plus volume every single month, you're risking a lot of capital. And if I have access to the order books and you don't have access to the order books, then I can do something that's called, like when people say scam wicks, this is exactly what they're talking about.
James winning. They're getting James wind.
Pretty much. So a scam wick is basically if I'm looking at the order books transparently as a centralized exchange and I see, hey, there are $3 billion in liquidations at this point. We're holding on to enough reserves where if we dump the supply, it's going to drive the price to that point. All of these people are going to get liquidated. It's going to cascade. So, all right, there's $3 billion in liquidations of Bitcoin at 82K. If we drive the price down to 82K, there's going to be a cascading of liquidations to get it down to 78, 79. Yeah. At that point, we're going to make money on all the shorts and all the dumping that we can buy back in and get
illegal though, right?
30% more supply. This is all illegal. Everything else is
like, I know. I mean, it's stuff we all know that happens, but it's like that's what people need to realize when you're trading on a centralized exchange. Many times they are trading against you.
Well, it's quite literally their job. That's a part of their business.
Yeah.
And that's a part of that's why every single market maker, if you've ever operated on like the token side of things, right? We're bringing a token to market or helping a token go to market. Oftentimes you have to negotiate and talk with these different market making firms. Most of the scandals that have happened in crypto, like 8, 9, 10-figure scams, a lot of them come from market makers. And how does that work exactly? I'm a dev of a project. I launch a project. Market maker's job is to make money from the supply that I have secured from that project. So if I launch a project, I have 80% of the supply, 70% of the supply in some cases. I'm not going to say who's doing this, but there's a lot
That's kind of like what happened with FTX, right? Caroline was the market maker for FTX, right?
I believe so. I believe
yeah,
so.
because that's what caused the whole cascading. And she was making the market, but they were like over leveraging themselves by offering all these crazy yields. And then when the market went down, everybody, so what's the saying? When the tide goes out, you see who's swimming naked.
Right, exactly. So what happens with a lot of these market makers, it's their job to secure revenue from trading volume, which basically means they're counter trading you as a retail trader. If you don't understand that, you shouldn't touch like I think most shit unless it's like an altcoin or like a macro, to be honest. If you don't understand the game that you're, because then you don't even know the rule sets that
It's
you're
the
playing.
same as the stock market, kind of, though, right? Like,
right.
we're hopefully we'll be more decentralized here at some point, and it seems like the stock market maybe will follow suit or have to compete in some ways in the future. Opening up longer hour, they're going to have to make some changes to stay competitive in this landscape. But yeah, so what do you recommend? So it is decentralized exchanges is the way to go for traders if they don't want to be, because on Hyperliquid, so I work for an exchange too, obviously we're dark pool. So that's one of our value props, right? Like no stop loss hunting. And so Hyperliquid, as far as I know, those are public. The transactions themselves are public. So it does not the same kind of thing apply there. Like I feel like I've been stop loss hunted. You can never prove it, but trading.
I feel the same. I feel the same. And yes, theoretically, the same could happen there. The novelty and what the market is fascinated about is the fact that we can all do the same, theoretically.
Yeah.
Right? Is like, hey, at least like we can all fuck each other. Sorry. Girl screw each other. But at the end of the day, it depends on who has the resources,
right?
Who has the capital and who has the liquidity. Obviously, has the greatest advantage in manipulating the markets.
Yeah. So, what about dark pool trading, like Aster, VDEX, who I work for? Is that a substantial enough value prop to kind of make headway into the Hyperliquid? They were a first mover, captured a lot of early attention, people have made a lot of money, but there are some fundamental flaws. I would say they're built on top of existing technology, they're slower to iterate on some things, and then just some things that they could never be a dark pool based on
I'll give you
the way it's constructed.
Two things. I just like critically thinking about this, and this carries off into the next meta. So yes and no. I think the downfall, like if the downfall of Hyperliquid is bad for all perps dexes.
Yes.
At the end of the day, right?
Agreed.
A rising tide lifts all boats. However, the rising tide, and I heard somebody last year, I actually interviewed an advisor for World Liberty Finance, and he's very, very close with the government, lobbyists, etc. And as a part of that interview, one of the things that he kind of clicked in my brain as him and I were talking about Hyperliquid was he said, Hyperliquid is basically a legal arbitrage to sexes. And I was like, whoa, I never thought about it that way. I never really thought about it that way. But theoretically, it is, right? Like, it's a legal arbitrage for central exchanges. If you want to trade, make a shit ton of money and not necessarily have it directly reported or associated with you as an individual.
Yeah.
So I think as Hyperliquid gets more mainstream, which I think it will, I think it's already happening right now, but I think it will. I think there's going to be a lot of consumer dApps that can be built on top of it. Whether they're successful or not, I don't know. But I think that's going to be the next kind of, narrative, right? As that gets more commercialized and like sort of like less of a legal arbitrage, if you will, I think that's where the opportunity for dark pools really, really comes in. And I think we're already moving towards this privacy meta anyways.
Yeah.
So it's going to take the commercialization and like I guess the basically Hyperliquid has to sell out. Once Hyperliquid sells out, it's like, oh, these guys are working. Once they get like Coinbase, then that's what I think
Once the airdrops are all over and that juicy
all the
upside.
airdrops are over. It's a Fed chain. People will call, whatever they say about Coinbase, right? The second it gets the second it's not edgy and cool, that's where edgy and cool comes in. And I think any other alternative can really, really capture a ton of market share, because then people will learn about Hyperliquid first and foremost, just because and that's not bad,
and
right?
have a framework and a context to understand everything else.
Once they become more experienced, once they get a little bit more adapted, and then once they learn the benefits and trade-offs, like, wait, so these guys can all know my order books here, and this chain is now legal in all 50 states, so I have to KYC or whatever it is, right? Like, once that legal arbitrage moat, I guess, goes away, and I think it will. I think it will inevitably. So sorry.
You're still gonna have your scam wicks and everything, because every whether it be Hyperliquid, VDEX, or any other really exchange is using the Binance chart or using this chart, like the big charts, which are the ones that are manipulated anyways, right? Like Binance is going to have their market makers, and KuCoin and whoever else, and they're all going to have their own market makers hunting their platforms stop losses and liquidations, and everybody else is going to follow suit, because when you make a trade, you're only going to really be able to keep your liquidation within a certain range anyways, when you're using, depending on how much leverage you're making. So if you catch a scam wick, like, you're more likely, even if they don't know what your stop loss is or your liquidation, you're probably going to get hit out regardless.
That's a good point. I want to talk about all of the things that you've been doing. So, I mean, we met, I think, the first time in IRL at that first Beeple event. You had like 10 Teslas at the time. You had like a side hustle with Teslas. You were starting the Bing Bong thing. You were influencing. You were traveling. You have come a long way from when I first met you. I haven't come nearly as far. Like, you are crushing it. So tell me about, like, how did that journey progress from, like, it seems like you had some background outside of crypto that lent itself well to, I made a transition from e-commerce and things like that. You hit the ground running, and then you've really iterated to being a founder, being an events, not coordinator, like the premier event company, I would argue, of Web3. I mean, it's the one the influencers, it's like the bar that we get to go to after we get off, and everybody just really cuts loose and has fun and vibes and the content. It's like, you got me one time unprepared. I was like, if he ever posts that video, man, I think I'm in New York. I didn't realize you had a camera with you. You're like, say something hi to the camera. And I was like, just one of those moments. But you guys do. You throw the events that everybody wants to be at. So talk about surviving and thriving in any market condition.
Multiple bear market. We still hear motherfuckers sell.
That's right. You've been one of the best to do it. So how have you made it through all the ups and downs and stayed ahead?
What it really comes down to, well, one, yes, I think you're 100% right. I think every past experience, I mean, I have a kind of thesis on this. Every past experience you've ever had in your life has led you to who you are and what you are today, right? 100%. So for me, I've been a hustler in different capacities my entire life. And I would say I went sort of like the full sort of internet money route right around COVID. I was working as a data analyst at the time at one of the largest. That was my job. That was my like from the Web 2 side. I studied data. I studied data and social media. And it was during COVID that like right around like the Wall Street bets and like Reddit and all that shit was going off. And I remember one day I made like a lot of money from Radio Shack. I think it was Radio Shack. Like
Radio Shack.
Radio Shack cooked, bro. During the meme stock era of like,
didn't they say they were gonna release like a token or something like that around that time?
They probably already have, and Rug did at this point. Who knows? Are
there still any left? I haven't been to a mall in like 10 years.
It was right around that time I started making like I made a few good trades, and I was like, wait, like it would have took me like a few months, like a month or two at work to make it, like, to do this. Like, what the fuck? So it was around that time I started hustling. I started doing different businesses. I started a car rental company, as you had mentioned, scaled that to like 30, 35 cars or something in like 6 months. That was pretty busy. I mean, right around the COVID time, I think, is when I realized, I was working in an office at the time. Everyone had to go home and work from home. And then as I was working from home and making money from other things outside of work, I realized, I was like, wait, this would be really, really nice if I could work from anywhere at any time. And I think that is the biggest sort of like driver and motivator is, and it's interesting because it's also, I don't want to call it a prison, but in some ways it is, right? Like a lot of people live their entire lives with like this really, 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 really strict structure where everything and throughout their entire day is planned for them, whether that's the 30-minute commute, right? Going into the office, clocking in, and then you're there for like 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever, and then doing the same thing on the way back and back and forth. I lived that for almost 10 years and
I'm still living that life, bro. I'm still living that life. I'm the 9 to 5 mechanic. That's why I'm here, man. That's why I'm investing in crypto, though.
But
get my family some freedom.
This is perfect because now, being a part of this industry and making relationships and setting up friendships, like it will change your, like it's changed my life, right? Like it allowed me to meet people from all over the world. How I really, really got in, I guess, to the deep dive point of like crypto at this point was 2021. Right around that time, I'd started, I would say 2019, 2020, I got interested in internet money. Like, dude, how do I make money from the internet? And then right around 2021, I was telling all my friends about NFTs since like all year. I was like, yo, you guys got to get into NFTs, bro. This is going to be the biggest thing ever. I'm a RuneScape nerd. I grew up playing RuneScape. I still play sometimes. So I understood NFTs the second like I learned about them. I was like, oh shit, this is like a party hat. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like I get this. Like,
I played a lot of Counter-Strike, man. And it was like Counter-Strike kind of had like the first idea of a digital collectible with a marketplace because they had the chests that you can open, and then you at the time it was like the knife skins were like $600 and you can sell them on the Steam marketplace. And like when I saw NFTs, it was like that was my aha moment. Like, oh, okay, we already have this, but now you can actually own it outside of Steam.
Yeah, I still don't know how I'm not rich from NFTs, but that's a story for another day.
No, I mean there was a lot of, I mean, so I think at the time I had I minted an NFT project actually. It was an NFT project called Spooky Boys Country Club right around November 2021. I had gotten one of the rarest NFTs in that collection, and I had sold it that same day or that same night. I had some dude in my inbox like, dude, I want to buy this from you, whatever. And I said some stupid number. This is back when ETH was like $4,800. I said 2 ETH. And he was like, oh man, fuck it, I'll do it. That's 10 grand.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah,
so I'm like, I just paid like $300 for this fucking picture. I was like, yeah, for sure. So
I'll take it.
I ended up, yeah, I'll take it. I'll 100% take it. And then that's kind of what was another sort of moment, right? I guess like that I could pinpoint back to and be like, whoa, I realized like, holy shit, this is insane. Like the opportunities here are absolutely wild. I got invited. So that was the first NFT mint I ever did. And then the second NFT mint I ever did, I ended up being very active in the Discord and the community. I was very helpful to the founders. Like I was coming up with ideas all the time. I was like routing everybody together. And then eventually the founder ends up DMing me and saying, hey, you've had a lot of really, really good suggestions in the community. We really like your effort and everything. We want to fly you out to Dubai to come work with us. Like, are you down? Like, at the time I was still working at TikTok and I'm like, I don't know if I have time for this. I had a lot of stuff going on. I ended up doing it. So I took an 18-hour flight to go across the entire world to meet people I had never met before ever in my life. And it was fascinating and disgusting at the same time. And I'll explain, right? I land there and I have like these 18-year-old kids that pull up to the airport in like Lambos and Ferraris and all this shit. They pick me up. I go back to their Dubai penthouse. They're all in like designer head to toe, big watches, this, that, whatever. And I'm like, dude, what is going on right now? And as I'm in the
Sign me
penthouse,
up.
I realize I'm like, oh, these guys are fucking scam. Like, these are like the top crypto scam. Like, these guys are just farm launching these NFT projects. And we're not talking, bro. Back then, at that point, I saw someone make $8 million in front of me off of an NFT launch. That, like, literally, like, it was just insane. And I literally saw that right in front of me. So that's why I meant like equally fascinated and disgusted as like a normal office, like 9 to 5 guy. Like, this was another, paradigm of luxury I hadn't experienced before at that point in my life. And I'm starting to see this and experience this. And I'm like, whoa, like, this is insane. But all of these people are basically criminals. So it got me to be involved and to take the space a little bit more seriously, from like a completely different, like, opposite standpoint of that. And that's kind of what I've been focused on that throughout this last few years. Do
you get really offended when people like call crypto a scam, and then you have to like give like, and they're like, how can you work there? It's a bunch of scammers. And it's like, okay, well, if no good people worked there and it was just all scammers that were growing and scaling and going to be the leadership of this new technology that the world operates on, is that is that a desired outcome? Or like, to me, it's revolutionary. Like, these are people fighting for major ideas.
100%. And I don't feel emotional about it either way. Personally, I don't feel any sort of emotion about it at all. And the reason I say that is because I understand. I get it. I get it. Your favorite rapper tweeted a pump fund link 6 months ago. Your favorite, athlete posted on their IG story something. You got rugged by Floyd Mayweather or The Rock or Schwarzenegger, whoever it was. Like, I get it at that point. I get it.
Yeah.
Listen, I hear you. It is what it is. But I think it's actually more damaging for people to ignore than to not. And I think there's a lot of opportunity here, specifically when it comes to distribution, which is what I've been focused on for the last 6 to 7 months.
And I can't wait to hear all about that.
Yeah. And I mean, we can start to dive into that. But as far as other things I've done within the crypto space over the last 4 or 5 years, one is marketing, advisory, and consulting through the Crypto Bunker, which is my essentially agency. I hate using that word, but basically. And then Bing Bong, hosting events throughout the world, which has helped, I would say, significantly in increasing my network. I advise anyone. I mean, personally, myself, when I like at times like now, I'm like, fuck, like, that's a lot. But I've probably spent, I'm sure Mick as well too. Like, I know for a fact I've spent well over 6 figures on traveling over the last few years. Well over, probably multiple 6 figures.
We get lucky when people pay for us, but sometimes we have to pay for ourselves.
I mean, usually I'm the guy paying for me, and other people. Usually I'm paying for other people too. So, like, if I'm paying for me and other people, that shit adds up.
Just like, hit me up if you ever want to take one more, Are you guys going to Denver? Is there a Bing Bong event at Denver? Or
not during Denver. We're going to be announcing the next one soon, but I will personally be at Denver.
Okay.
Which I'm excited about.
Same.
Doing some stuff there. So that's going to be fun.
We'll link up a live interview.
I think so. Yeah, no, that would be really fun. I do think it is important to invest in yourself, in your network, and like traveling and like going out and meeting people, because that, I would say, has been the biggest and greatest difference maker for me. It's a much more different when you meet someone in person, you have a really good conversation, you guys go out, grab lunch, or go to, even go to the bar. And I think the thing is with like partying or like meeting people in party like environments, I've met really, really important people in these types of environments, and their guards are much more lower. Like, they're actually who they are, not who they want you to see them as. And, I think there's something special about that. I think there's good amount of bonds and relationships you can make, in that sort of
meeting him at
environment.
the conference and then meeting him at the after party.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I joked
Different
about it, and I have a tweet. Maybe I could pull this tweet up. I joked about this during Singapore. I'm like, this is the ultimate crypto go-to-market. Raise a shit ton of money, throw club events in Dubai and Singapore.
Yeah.
Hire a bunch of hot girls, right? You hire a bunch of hot girls. You hire a bunch of like kind of like douchey, like frat like dudes, right? That's
Perfect.
your BD. That's your BD
Yeah.
team. Now you got your
Well,
BD.
the token, right? This is the actual roadmaps.
This is the road.
Doing it
I'm
free.
being dead serious.
Yeah.
This is literally the roadmap. Then you get those guys and girls.
All the gambling platforms.
Yeah, you get them out. Have them go to all the different events. They meet all the different people. Because you're making a buzz and like meeting all these different people, you raise even more money. You never focus on a product and you never worry about your community. You do both of those things. Then congratulations, you're gonna have a big TTE. You're gonna raise millions of dollars.
I know.
Well, it's comical because like it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately sometimes it is. And
I feel like the space has a lot, even though like crypto's been around, or at least Bitcoin's been around for almost 20 years. I feel like this market has so much maturing to do still. Kind of circling back on what Mick was saying about crypto's a scam. I've talked to a lot of people like in my normal life. I'll go out to dinner with my wife and my family, and I'll talk to the server. You guys still sip Bitcoin as a joke, like just to to break the ice with a crypto conversation. They're like, oh, I know about crypto one time, and mostly what I hear is like, yeah, I dabbled in, and then I lost all my money, and I'm like, what did you get in? Some I don't know, fart whatever coin, or some garbage coin.
Excellent
really
choice.
And it's like you did it wrong. But I want people to have more positive experiences, because those people now are gonna have that mentality that's a scam, and they're not gonna come back because they're fearful. They tried it, they're fearful, this is garbage, and they walk away. And it's sad because there is so much opportunity here if you just stick around and actually start to learn and get involved, like you said, with communities, with all these different things. Yeah, you're gonna get burned here and there, but like there's so much more risk, sort of reward versus risk in this space, in my opinion, as long as you do you learn risk management along the way.
100%. And I think the biggest thing is too is like everyone sort of feels that they have to take the same pipeline or pathway, like they have to be a creator or a trader or this or that. And like the reality is, just like any other industry, there's 1,000 ways to make it. Like you can be a developer, you can become a really, really talented developer, you can be a graphic designer, you can be a clipper, you can be a streamer, you can be a shit poster, right? Like I've joked, like Hugo Martingale, he literally shit posted Polymarket into a multi-billion-dollar valuation. You really, really think about it. Like
I don't know if I know who that is. I need to follow this guy.
He's like the OG Polymarket crypto Twitter like intern guy that like would say crazy off the cuff, super dicey shit, and it would just perform extremely well. And you see that even right now, Beaver with Toshi Bet and Pump Fund, he just won the $1 million prize.
I know,
right? So like
the crypto.
Yeah, crypto represent, specifically crypto Twitter as a whole. Like there is so much opportunity there.
Yeah.
That I feel like you have to at the very least educate yourself on.
Before we talk about clipping, I want to talk to you. I want you to give advice or nuggets of wisdom, because you're one of the people that I respect. It's like the delusional optimist. And it's like, we're aware of all the realities that are actually, but we choose to focus on productive, positive things. And you've been someone who I've always looked up to for just that. Like, yeah, there's noise all over the place, but I'm locked in and this is what I'm doing. And I think that's been a lot of the reason behind your success, because you're not worried about what so-and-so is doing or what this platform's doing or whatever. You're like, this is my lane. I'm creating it and I'm setting the speed limit. And if you want to drive on it with me, you're welcome to, and you got to follow my rules. So I've admired that about you. And I think it's very much a mindset thing. So where does that come from? How does it help you? And how can people, because there's so many people, our minds just naturally look for negative. It's just like a human psychological, like we look for it's survival mode, the things that could hurt us or kill us. So retraining ourselves now that we don't live in a jungle and aren't hunted by whatever happened in those years, we don't have to live with that mindset, but it's programmed in. And I think people that live and make decisions from a place of fear, almost self-fulfilling prophecy to that idea again, create the very thing they're afraid of and trying to prevent. How do you master that?
I think there's two things. Something I spent a lot of time last year, almost philosophical and religious. There's some, I think there is no like white and black. I think it's a process, and I think you have to accept that it is a process. But something that I spent a lot of time on last year was reading up and studying Stoicism quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
And one of the practices that I still sometimes will even do to this day, whether it's personal relationships, whether it's business, no matter what it is, I'll think about the worst outcome possible and then accept it. And that sounds really, really hard, but like I'll think about the worst possible outcome, right? And instead of being stuck, because I think what ends up happening is a lot of people get stuck on the loop of that. Oh, this is the worst possible outcome. What do I do to avoid that outcome? But if you're constantly thinking about that negative outcome, then you're actually going to attract it. But I think if you just give it a microsecond of your time, you accept it for what it is and what it can be, and then you just don't give it anything else, then now all of your other mental energy is focused on something else entirely. And I think that is really, really important, is finding things to make yourself busy with. Like I have a lot of friends that contact me all the time. What are you doing right now? Like, what should I be doing? Like, what should I be getting into? Like, market's cooked. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, at the end of the day, not like figure your own shit out, but at the end of the day, it's like you kind of have to. You kind of have to. Yeah, there is no choice. There is no other choice. And eventually you'll start to see things in the opposite lens. Market's down really bad. I've actually made more money and have had more business opportunities during horrible market conditions.
Yeah.
Horrible. Actually, the worst market conditions possible is when I've like cooked the most, like, to be honest. So for me, when I see shit going south and people quitting or slowing down or kind of crashing out or not, being unfocused or caught in the noise and just complaining all day, perfect. I'll just continue to be productive, and then eventually
take all those opportunities off your hands.
Yeah, no worries. Because if you're occupied with everything else, then you're not focused on the prize, right? And the prize is, in my opinion, right now, goes back down to distribution, which is not something I've been working on for the last 7 months. And I think it's really important.
Talk about that. So distribution, when I got here, there was about 10 super well-paid KOLs that made all the money, and they rugged us a bunch of times and nobody cared. And like, so that didn't work. And then it was like, okay, well, let's make more KOLs and let's do agencies and let's do, all these extractive middleman kind of things. And we're watching, like, to me, marketing agencies, traditional Web2 marketing platforms, news stations, all of that, it's just changing. The power is going more to the micro creators. There's more value to be had there. It's more direct ROI than these huge spend, widely targeted, not very, honed in on your target market. You're doing football commercials, but if you spent that same amount across micro creators with audiences who are very likely to make a purchase within your niche or whatever, there's just there's access to so many more ways to advertise. So how have you seen these trends evolve, and why is clipping now a thing? Like, what is the predecessor and rather the primitive of this, and like, how did we get to here where I've seen Leon talking about it? There was some FUD about how much clippers we're going to make, and I know you're working on some things to make them make more, but this is all like, you are setting this meta. You're part of the people at the front of it. How are you gonna like make this work, dude?
I got you. All right, so I will explain it to you step by step. So clipping's been around for a long time. One of the best examples of this actually was around the time of COVID, around 2020, more particularly 2022 and 2023. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate basically created this meta as it exists today. And I will explain it to you. So basically, he had Hustler University. Hustler University, you would charge $47 a month for. And if you sign up to Hustler University, you can make 50%. It's like a pyramid scheme, just like an MLM.
Yeah.
But it's a good business model. It's a great business model. He scaled it to 50
everything's
million
a pyramid scheme, so I don't even care anymore. It's like
pretty much
on some level it all is.
Pretty much. So Hustler University, $47 a month. Then he hired all of these people, hired all of these people and said, hey, if you post clips of my content, which is going to perform better than anything that you're going to do anyways, right? Like, because he's saying very controversial, dicey, like crazy shit. It's going to perform. Well, that's how social media works, unfortunately. But that's how social media works. So you have some guy saying a bunch of off-the-cuff shit, and you have thousands of people posting it every day, driving referral volume and ref links. Within a year or two, he's making $20-30 million a month, getting over 1 billion plus impressions. And I believe in 2022 and 2023 was the most Googled person in the world for both of those years. That happened in like a 6 month, like 3 to 6 month span. And really what it comes down to is an extremely hyper viral, decentralized marketing campaign where it's not just one centralized force that's pushing out and promoting a message. I kind of had a realization moment of this when I used to work at TikTok. At TikTok, one of my jobs, I used to work with mid-market growth agencies. These growth agencies would work with really, really large clients. Under Armour, Gatorade, fucking Doritos. Like, you're talking about really, really big, large clients. These large clients would take the same strategies that they used on Facebook and Instagram and even traditional media and would try to apply it onto TikTok. And these campaigns would fail miserably. You would have Doritos that would go hire Kim Kardashian, LeBron James, and Tom Brady for a 15, 30-second commercial. They'd spend millions of dollars putting this together, and it just really wouldn't perform as they expected it to. And the truth is, it's because of relatability. The TikTok algorithm, which is now the X algorithm, starting to be this way too, it pushes relatability. So it doesn't matter how viral, how large you are, how small you are, all of that goes away, right? It's just going to connect you with people and things that it thinks that you want. So what that ended up discovering was something called challenges. And now we ended up creating this product called TikTok Challenges. So instead of having Doritos pay $5 million to do a 15-minute commercial and blast ad spend on one account, instead we would put together, we'd hire a SoundCloud rapper, pay them like $20,000 to get licensing rights for the song, hire a couple different like super small, like under 100K follower TikTok accounts to then do a dance challenge with the SoundCloud song. And then you would release that as Doritos Locos Nachos Taco Challenge, right?
Yeah.
Now, as a regular user of TikTok, I'm scrolling and I might get advertised Doritos from my 8-year-old niece, even though I don't want to fucking be advertised Doritos, right? Because it's not what I'm interested in. So people are the best proxy to advertise to other people. And it's been this way forever.
Yeah.
I think clipping.
I kind of want Doritos now.
Now you want Doritos. Clipping, content creation, all of those other things basically are vehicles to do that. I want to show you this. I've never shown this publicly yet, but this is basically oh shit. Is it sharing?
I'll share it. I got it.
There we go.
All right, cool. Let me kind of break this down. All right, cool. So this is basically how I describe and I've told several different projects this privately. I've met with a lot of different projects weekly and founders and CEOs. And this is basically what I'm telling everybody. It's like, look, the last consumer vehicle left is social capital. We already figured out how to get everybody's money, right? That's why you have AI algorithms with 2 decades of your personal data that's working at the edge of quantum computing to take money from you every day.
Yeah.
It's cooked. It's over. Like it's done.
Yeah.
Like it's done. The last thing you have
man.
control of is your eyes and your mind. Those are the last things you have. Your
Yeah.
pocket.
Do you have control of your mind?
That's right. We don't want to get it. Whatever.
I'm just an observer of my thoughts, I think. I don't know.
I don't
want
Well,
to
it's
be
like,
responsible for my
I
thoughts.
mean that because we see all these ads and these viral things, like it puts thoughts in our mind, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Inception.
So consumers don't want to be sold to anymore. Consumers don't want brands to sell to them. So this direct line here, it's really, really hard to do that. At least in today's day and age, it's just I don't want to be. I know for me personally, I don't want to be fucking sold to, right? Like if I see a Doritos ad, I'm quick scrolling. If I see my grandma doing a funny dance on TikTok, I'm gonna watch the video, not knowing I'm being advertised to. So the last real thing left is social capital. Consumers give social capital to distributors or clippers, right? A lot of people will watch these pages or follow these pages as a way of keeping up with the day-to-day news. There's so much shit happening every single day. These people are basically clipping that and making more concise sense of it. Creators, right, attract consumers because they become gravity for information or entertainment, right? Like you watch or consume a creator's content because you're learning something or because you're being entertained. So what creators do is offer brand credibility to consumers, and what brands do is offer, or what creators do for the brands is offer consumer credibility to the brand, right? If I am a 19-year-old college basketball athlete, right, and I'm selling a basketball sneaker, or I'm posting about a basketball sneaker, that is offering credibility to the brand that, hey, this basketball phenom is talking about this sneaker. And that's offering brand credibility to the consumer. Hey, this guy's a big basketball guy and he's talking about these sneakers. That's exactly how that works. Now, from the brand standpoint, where they stand in is they allow creators to grow. They fund the growth. If creators are not paid by brands, they cannot grow. So creators making a shit ton of money, I have no problem with that because it should be helping them grow. And if they're growing, it breaks us out of this bubble that we're in. Yep. Now, where clippers stand in is they have scalable assets, right? Instead of paying this creator one time for a couple $100s, I can pay this creator one time for a couple $100s and then scale that asset here theoretically infinitely, especially if it works. And you know that from, traditional SMMA and stuff like that, right? It's called A/B testing. If I'm going to pay 10 UGC creators to make an ad, I can see which one works the best. And then I'm going to take that ad and blast $10,000 in ad spend behind it in hopes of selling $100,000 in e-com products. Yeah. Right. So it's the same concept. So when I look at like Clipper or Clipper University, Clipper.com, Clipper University is my community. Clipper.com is the software product.
Okay. There's software too?
Wait, you didn't even know about software? Okay.
I didn't know you were set up already. I mean, I thought it was like a super early version, but I didn't. Is a lot of this automated between brands and Clippers?
I'll show you right now. I'll show you right now.
Might be using this.
Yeah. Brand at Gmail. Or sorry. Give me one sec. I'll show you what it looks like for brands and some of the different user profiles. So really kind of just to give a little bit more of a backstory. Let me show the main website too. Just to give a little bit more of a backstory, I started training my community to do clipping about 7-8 months ago. I had a lot of people following me from like the InfoFi side of things, and they were grinding, working like super hard for like $30 in like 6 months of like rating and shit on Twitter. I realized that like, hey, these VCs are basically farming these people and basically using them as extra digits on their raise sheets, while not actually, nobody's getting anything out of this. The timeline is annoyed because they're getting a bunch of InfoFi slop garbage. The companies are not really onboarding any users, and they're basically farming the quasi users that they have as mechanisms to raise more money. It's the whole shit is fucked, right? So around that time, I started educating my community. And truth is, it came down because I needed clippers myself. I was live streaming 5 days a week, and I'm like, fuck, I need clippers. I was hiring other people to do this. I'm like, how do I do this well? So then I had an idea. It's like, let me just start teaching people how to do this. And they started clipping me for free, right? Because I'm teaching them how to do it, and I'm giving them attention, and I'm giving them a lot of resources. I'm paying for X subscriptions. I'm buying them software, etc. So after a few months of doing that, then basically outside companies and products started approaching me and saying, hey, we would love to utilize this community they have. So inadvertently, before me even realizing it, I sort of built a product for myself. And it started
product market fit.
100%, yeah, because I needed the problem. So I think that's the greatest thing, right? Like Mick, you were asking earlier, like, how do you just like the delusional optimist? Well, it's knowing that every product is actually a sale. That's how I see it. If I'm having trouble at something and I'm like, fuck, this is really difficult, then I know that that idea is valuable.
100%.
So I'm like, yeah. So then if you put a lot of time and effort into figuring out why that thing is such a pain in the ass and you make it simpler, that's value. That's literally what value is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally what entrepreneurship is. Find the problem and solve it.
And solving it, yeah.
Monetize it.
So
I think
started
so many
working
people
with
come to entrepreneurship with an incorrect assumption of what it is, right? Like, let me just copy what someone else did to make money. They're not really solving a unique problem,
Yes, and unfortunately, I've had a lot of people do the same or attempt to do the same, whatever. It doesn't really bother me either way, because I think when you actually understand the problem, you can scale solving that problem significantly better. So these are some of the different companies and brands we've worked with and have done campaigns for: Jupiter Exchange, Jupiter Mobile, Camp Network, Pump Fun. We did the Neon and Thrust campaign when they were doing their pre-sale raise on Twitter, Giga Chad on Instagram and TikTok. And then also from the Web 2 side, Clavicular, we did one of his campaigns on Instagram, specifically a few months ago. That one was actually really interesting. He grew from about 93,000 followers to a little bit over 150,000 in 2 weeks.
Wow.
We were able to get the effective CPM ad spend there. So we spent, like money spent, was 2,500. We produced over 30 million impressions in that campaign.
Wow. How do we hire you to make our show blow up? Like, say we're a client, we're like, yo, clip our podcast. What's the process like?
I'll show you. And look, I'll get direct feedback from you guys right now. This would be really, really helpful for me actually as well. So how I started setting this up, right, is like I was doing all of this manually. Before this website, I was managing all of this in telegrams and in Google spreadsheets. And I had a bunch of like virtual assistants that would just go there and like manage all this shit for me every single day. And it was still a fucking headache. Eventually, I was like, all right, I'm going to set up a Notion. So then I set up a Notion, and then I had all of these databases, and then I had all this automations and shit. And I'm like, this is still not it. Like, this still sucks. Like, I don't want to deal with this. So that's where this product came from, was like, I wanted to solve my own problem in terms of being able to launch a campaign immediately and get people working on it. So this is the brand side of the platform. And basically what it allows you to do is launch a clipping campaign. So we can say adoption pod, we can put a description or not. There's source content. So source content is exactly what it sounds like.
Video.
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. But what it could be as well too, depending on what you're doing, right? Like if you're running like a month-long campaign and it's a decently high budget where you're actually gonna like last the whole month, then you can put a bunch of videos in one Google Drive and then have them operate through there, right?
Very cool.
So it's whatever source content you want. It could be a YouTube video, it could be this live stream, it could be a Kick live stream, it could be a Twitch live stream, it could be whatever, right? You take that source content, you plug it in here, you could give it a title, etc. So you can put like, hey, this is our content archives. This is This was our X live stream, etc. You could add as many sources as you want. Thumbnail. So I'll just put a test one in for now, and then a campaign brief. So before this platform, I want to show you what this looked like. I would set all of this up manually and like actually type this out and give instructions on like, hey, this is what you need to do. These are the communities you need to post in, right? So pain in the ass. This is replacing that.
So how does this work for the people actually clipping? Are you locking in, for example, you're doing this campaign and it's going to be, I don't know, you put in X amount of dollars and then that's going to be distributed to all the people doing the actual clipping for you?
Correct. We're going to keep moving through the process, so you'll see. So step 2,
cool.
3-step process. 1, you put your source content, you put your instructions. What do you want them to do? 2, how do you want to pay them? Do you want to pay them per CPM? You can navigate your own CPM rates. I see a lot of discussions, a lot of arguments, a lot of debate about CPM rates. The truth is, this is crazy. I haven't talked about this at all. You guys are going to get me out of my streaming retirement, but I spoke with the founder and CEO of a really large streaming company today, a really big one. And one of the things we were talking about.
Okay.
No, I can't tell you.
I'm just watching for an emotional reaction in your eyes. So just keep looking at me while I say the
founder CEO of this, easily multi-9-figure company.
Okay.
And he's telling me about all of the problems that I'm reviewing this platform with him, right? And he's telling me all the problems that he's experienced with hiring clippers or in clipping agencies, the lack of transparency. He doesn't know what he's paying for. A lot of times people will pay, let's say you're paying me $10 per CPM. I might be paying out $1 per CPM. It's, make your money, right? Make your money. But when you're taking 60, 70, 80, 90% margins, at some point, in my opinion, you're impacting the bottom line of the work, of the quality of the work.
Affiliate models are very much like that from the past when I was marketing in Web 2. I mean, the affiliates themselves would get huge checks from us, and then they would pay pennies to everybody that was doing the actual work. It's very extractive from the community. So how does this solve that? I'll
keep going. So brands, agencies, where there's a few agencies we're going to be working with when the alpha goes live.
Okay.
But this is a private beta, by the way. So like this is preview. Not many people have seen it. A lot of people have seen it, but not many people. So anyhow, you can set your own CPM rates. You can put $2, $3, $1, and ultimately, I think CPMs are like just a bullshit metric, right? It really depends on what you're paying for. If I have a list of 30 TikTok accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers that are verified from verified US account, that could be $10 to $20 per CPM, right? Like it doesn't matter. If you're just like, fuck it, I just want views, I just want as many views as possible, then $1 per
raising money, I need vanity metrics.
Right. I need 50 cents, whatever. And there's different strokes for different folks, and there's different use cases, right? Like you can use this distribution tool, however it fits you. And I think that is why I designed it this way, is because like every campaign is different. They have different goals. They have different objectives. They're hitting different people, right? Or they have targets to different people. So yes, brands, agencies can set their own CPM rates. They could also set their own max payout per clip. The reason why this is important is because a lot of people, like in WAP, for instance, there's an issue going on where people will farm and basically drain your clipping budget by botting the posts, right? So if you want to avoid or disincentivize even doing that, you can put, let's say, $10 max payout per clip. So in this instance, I'm paying out $1 per 1,000 views, and I'm only going to pay you up to $10 for that specific piece of content. I won't pay you more than that.
Right.
And now this is fair, this is transparent, and it's being communicated directly. And you avoid a lot of like just fraudulent shit.
Yeah. Are there limits to how many posts could they spam the timeline all day and bot and max out?
There are limits for the amount of clips that they can submit.
Okay.
There are limits. I'll explain more when we get to the Clipper side of the platform.
Sure.
Then there's another style of running campaigns, and this is kind of a little bit of my secret sauce, right? That I'm putting out there. This is one of the reasons for the Neon campaign, for instance. Again, about 2.5K ad spend, got over 9 million or 11 million impressions around that, like 9 to 10 million. I think it ended up going a little bit over that. Let's say 8 million impressions.
Yeah.
2.5K ad spend, 8 million impressions. The reason we were able to achieve an effective CPM rate of less than a penny, I think, or pretty fucking close. I don't know. It was really, really low. The reason we were able to achieve such an effective CPM rate is because I ran half of those campaigns as contests. So I said, hey, if you're a top 3 clipper, you're going to make all the money. If you're a top 5, you make all the money. If you're top 10, you make all the money. Everyone under new clippers, right? Like they're just happy to be getting paid in general. And this is a way they can get paid to practice the skill set, right?
Yeah.
So setting it up as a contest is a really, really effective way of driving your overall CPM rates down significantly. And then you could choose whichever platforms you want: X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc. You can set it for auto-approved clips. And then you can also filter the quality of clippers that you want working on this. The clippers themselves are ranked and graded based off their historical performance. So I could show you what that looks like on the clipper side of the platform. But let's say, hey, for this one, we only want to work with gold tier clippers and up, only the best. Then once we submit the campaign, it goes live. From the brand side, you would be able to track and monitor the campaign and then see the clips as they're being submitted. So you would get like summary report of everything, and then be able to like drill down and look through it. I'll show you what the whole workflow looks like from the Clipper side. So from the Clipper side, they basically just come into here. Well, there's no active campaigns right now, but they would see the campaign. If I push that one to go active, they would see it here. They could sign up, not even sign up. They can see the details and then start submitting clips if they are qualified to do so. There is a ranking and grading system. So the more that they perform, the more consistent they are within while doing this, the more clips that they're submitting, the more like ranks, rewards, like unlocks that they get, right? So there might be, hey, you can only submit up to 5 clips a day, right? If you're at this certain stage. Once you get to this stage, you can submit up to 10. Once you get up to this stage, you can submit up to 20. Once you get up to this stage, you can submit unlimited. Who cares, right? But by doing this sort of system, we build reputation scoring and ranking based off of actual results, actual clips, and actual payments that have been received. So if they are sort of gaming the system or botting, whatever, this is one of the biggest ways of disincentivizing, because we would basically just nuke their account or suspend them.
Yeah. Just zeet them.
Just zeet them. So yeah, that's what it looks like from the Clipper side. Everything runs on Solana USDC. They would be able to withdraw the funds as soon as the campaign concludes.
And so to be a Clipper, is it just free to sign up to be a Clipper, or
100% free to sign up as a Clipper? Technically, 100% free for the brands as well too. And I'll explain how that works. So going back onto transparency, for the brands, what we're doing as like a self-serve model. So if the brands wanted to come in here themselves and basically set up their own campaigns, we're taking 10% on the ad spend. So if a brand comes in here and spends $10,000, we would make $1,000 from that. And that's honestly just to keep the platform operating. And, right.
But founders aren't allowed to make profits or have any money.
100%. 100%. Now, this is where I would say a majority driver of like additional revenue comes from, is for certain brands, right, that are going to be spending a lot of money, we are basically handling it as a managed service, right? So the margins there would be transparent again, 20 to 25%, depending on how much work they want us to do. And basically we would be operating this on their behalf and then sharing with them the results of, the outputs.
Yeah. Well, at least it's transparent, because you use these marketing agencies and they'll tell you, hey, it's going to be $50K to run this 1 month campaign, and we'll make it all happen. And Don't worry about it. And then, yeah, they're paying creators again dirt cheap. They're using they are not incentivized to produce the best results possible. They are incentivized to save the most money and keep the most money for themselves and
Correct.
not be transparent about how the funds were broken down.
Correct.
Is that
Whereas
fair?
100%. Whereas now I believe with 10, 20, even upwards of 30%, on the managed side, it's 100% fully transparent. And let me talk about approvals. So how it works is it's a two-tier approval system. So from the admin side, there's like an internal approval manual. I don't think LLMs are there yet. And I think that like until I have maybe even upwards of a year of historical data manually verifying all of this, then we'll be able to spot a lot of patterns and then train a specific LLM to automate a majority of this process. I don't want to start that way. I'd rather do the grunt work and really, really build good quality data from the very beginning. So it's a two-tier process. There's an admin approval on our side. Once the admin approval is done, then there's the brand approval on the brand side. Once the brand approves, transparently on my end, the goal for that is I want to eliminate any liability. So, hey, we did our first pass through. The second you guys sign off and the funds are released, it's out of our hands at that point, right?
Yeah.
So you are literally signing off on your money spent. And I believe by offering it this way, there's full transparency across the entire board. Everyone knows what's going on. There's no guesswork. You know the margins, what's getting paid out there, who's getting paid for what and what they're delivering for that.
Are there
All of that.
guarantees for clippers? Or like, so if an agency is just like, no, we don't accept it, but the clippers have done a lot of work, right? And maybe it's not great work, or maybe it is, and the agency is just like, not quite the messaging we were going for. What, like, I don't want to say
We
protections.
haven't ran into that full problem just yet.
Okay.
But what I plan on doing is basically creating an arbitrage, or like I guess technically arbitrage system, where if it does become problematic, then we would, basically have to step in and manually intervene, or just take the hit ourselves and pay out the clipper.
Yeah.
Ideally, that's not the case.
Yeah.
For a lot of the brands and partners that I'm talking about, as far as like, I have like a set group that I want to go live with the alpha, right? So for them, and I'm being very transparent in communicating with them, is like the more money and the more successful campaigns we're running through here, the more powerful this becomes as a tool for you, right? So at the end of the day, screwing over the clippers isn't even in the brand's best interest.
Right.
Either.
Charge an extra 5% for like unemployment insurance. Like, you just keep a pot to take care of the people who tried.
But like, see on that note though, like the people that are producing, say, subpar clips, should they be getting paid? Don't you want to filter like because that kind of leads to, what we had with
With the
InfoFi, a lot of
stuff.
AI slop and garbage. And I'm sorry, unfortunately, they shouldn't be rewarded for that. You should be rewarded for actual quality work, not just because you're not really even doing the work if it's just AI slop. You're just relying on AI. I can make something on an LLM and copy and paste it, right? I don't think that should be rewarded, especially when it comes to getting money for it, right? We want, like, brands are gonna want genuine, actual, like, views and not nothing fake, because they're not going to sell anything if it's just all fake engagement.
Who owns the rights to the content too? I mean, is that an extra incentive layer to provide great content? Can the brands have an option to buy the piece and run paid marketing against it?
That's actually a good question. I actually don't know the full answer to that. I believe if the brand owns the source content, they would also own the
Clip.
the secondary content. I'm pretty, or it's just like public domain, to be honest.
Is there a way on the platform that the brand can contact the clipper via email or whatever? Does the
No.
if they like that content, for example, like, man, we want to use this, can they contact that clipper and say, hey, can we work with you a little bit more?
Not directly through the platform. They will see their X page or their social media page anyways. But directly through the platform, I'm intentionally running every single user profile blind to one another.
Yeah.
We're going to be adding at some point creators as well, like video creators specifically, because going back to this, right? I think this is the first problem that we're focused on. And then, once we're live on this problem and it's scaling successfully, the second problem will be this. And then I think, realistically, because I've gotten paid to produce video content and stuff, and I think about it from the standpoint of the brands that have paid me. If we ran a clipping campaign on top of the live stream that they already paid me to do, we both would have benefited way more out of it. I would have gotten more exposure, and then their assets, which is me making content about them, would have been a lot more scalable.
Very true. You're taking on some tough problems in this space. I mean, we've seen the the rise and collapse of InfoFi. I don't think people quite realize, how dependent on the X API and platforms that they were, but we've seen how these businesses can be disrupted. As you've been talking, I can't really what are your potential existential risks as a business? So for people, a lot of people dedicated a lot of time and energy and resources to building brands and pages specifically for InfoFi. And if they come here and do it for clipping, are there potential threats to them there as well? Or is this like maybe a safer play?
I guess theoretically, you're always subject to the host platforms no matter what. Theoretically. However, being multi-platform, especially early on, I think is another avenue that, and arguably, I would say, I mean, CT clipping is good. Don't get me wrong. But I think, and like the playbook, and I'm just being 100%, look, putting it out, like, I think the playbook is breaking into YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok with clippers, especially if you're trying to sell a crypto product. Everybody on CT already lost all their money. There's no more money.
I've seen a lot of crypto stuff on Instagram, like a lot. I was actually surprised how much crypto stuff I'm seeing on Instagram, to be honest, because I thought it was TikTok, and I guess it's kind of cooled off on TikTok a bit because they were being very nice to crypto creators, and I'm seeing a lot of people pushing the Instagram.
Yeah. So I'll show you an example here from some of our beta campaigns that I ran earlier or late last week. So and this was only a $250 campaign. We got about 170 clips submitted.
Wow.
This is inaccurate. Somebody submitted we got about 1.5 million impressions.
Okay.
We got it was about 47 clippers, and then just from the signups we have around 300 and let's say like 30 brands, because some of these are test accounts.
That's
So
very cool.
yeah, I mean that's kind of the state of things. Took something that was initially a problem that I needed to solve for myself.
Yeah.
And as I was solving that problem, basically came up with a solution that could be sold itself. And I believe that everything operates that way, right? So anything that I try to think about it like this. Do you have to spend money and time on this? Okay. How do you not spend money and time on it? Or how do you spend enough money and time on it that eventually you can sell it?
Yeah.
And I think that's the case. Like, even for, I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine. I have a lot of friends from like the internet entrepreneurial world. One of my friends runs a 250 unit, sorry, Airbnb company, right? So he has over 250 units. They make like 500K plus a month or something ridiculous like that. Their margins are like 30-35%, right? The only reason his margins are decent and like really, really good is because he was paying tens of thousands of dollars every single month for cleaning companies. And then eventually he was like, fuck it, I'm just going to create my own cleaning company. These people are unreliable. They're not good at their job. I'm going to take all of the problems that I'm dealing with these cleaning companies, just make my own cleaning company and now I'm basically paying myself to solve my own problem.
That's basically like Elon's Mustang. It's like, I don't like what's going on here. I'm just gonna build companies to do what I want to do, and I want to go to Mars. So we're gonna build all
100%.
these different companies and fix the problem from scratch.
100%, right? So like whatever that is for you, like, and that's different for everybody as an individual.
Yeah.
Right. So like there might be something that you're dealing with every single day that you're like, this is really fucking annoying. We'll solve that thing. Take a lot of time to solve that thing. It might not happen for a year or two. Might be a few months, might be a week, might be a day. Maybe I go to solution in a day. Who knows? But I think if you spend time trying to solve your own problems, oftentimes those solutions are very valuable.
Dude, that's insane.
And with AI,
I could talk to you all night about this stuff. We're not going to keep you much longer. I had to get my son up early for school in the morning. But Mike, what did you have? And then I'd love to get some final thoughts from you, Faded, just on, well, I'll go after Mike.
I was just going to say with AI, it's just going to be, I was listening to a podcast today and they're talking about like the big companies out there are not going to be able to move fast enough to deal with, how fast AI is going, because, big corporations, when they want to change stuff, they got to go through a board of directors. There's so much bureaucracy they got to deal with to get moving, where there's going to be so many like 1-man or 2-man companies because you're going to be using AI now. And so it's like the rise of the entrepreneur with AI, because they're just going to be able to adapt and move quicker than any of the big companies. And the big companies not going to be able to compete with these small companies doing as much money or value that they are, right? So it's going to be a really interesting future to see this play out with AI.
100%. Agreed.
And you'll be writing books about it that teach everybody else the next month. I remember Shamath talking about, a couple years ago, like micro brands are the next thing. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I started seeing like the Ashley DeCans of the world. And I was like, well, wait, maybe there's like something to this and you get on board. But like, I mean, this is a pivotal moment in the history of work, the way we work. And
I read something pretty crazy. It was disheartening, but again, if you see it that way, you see it that way. If you see it a different way, you see it as an opportunity, right? Like it just depends on your perspective. 50% of all US adults will be working in the gig economy by 2030.
Wow.
50%.
Well, I love it, so I'm happy for them.
No, that's good, right? But like for people that are used to jobs and stability and all those, we're moving away from that at scale. And it's basically going to be, instead of productivity economy, or instead of a product economy, it'll be a productivity economy at the craziest levels and scales imaginable. And I do believe at some point, and I thought about this last year, which is why I invested like, I don't know, a lot of money, probably like 10K in just like stuff, just like equipment, just like laptops, tablets, extra laptops.
Before it all got super expensive.
Before it all got literally before it all got super expensive. And the reason I did that was because I started vibe coding January of last year. So when I started vibe coding January of last year, I realized like, oh shit, this is the future. And there's going to be, I actually have recordings that I said last year. It was like, hey, the last moat left is going to be hardware, because software is only going to be how creative your thoughts are. If you have really good creative thoughts and you could solve problems with your thoughts, then the thinking doesn't really matter anymore. Especially now in today's day and age, I could set up a fucking cloud bot. If I come up with an app idea today, I can have it built in a day.
Dude, I built an app, like a lead analyzer for LinkedIn on my first. I just started a week ago, by the way.
Right.
Like it took me, I'm older. So I'm like, oh God, another technology. I'm going to see if it even goes anywhere. And then all of a sudden it's like the tsunami's coming and you better like get a surfboard real quick and try to paddle your way to some stable point. Because if you're not adopting these tools, you are going to very quickly be left behind. So yeah, I think all of that to say follow Faded, because he's like the Nostradamus of our little ecosystem here, and just someone who is positive and uplifting. And that's like there's so much FUD and there's so much doom and gloom on the timeline. And I troll and joke, oh, Bitcoin's great, whatever. We do that. And I think those of us that have been here for a while, it's like comic relief that we need to like keep living in our collective delusion that, we're going to change the world with this new technology. But these are the kind of people you want to follow, the people that are actually building. I posted something about the Steve Jobs video about, the thinkers and the doers and how they're the ones who make the meaningful changes in the world. And I would very much describe you as someone in that category. I appreciate you sharing all your wisdom with us tonight. And I would just like to ask, what's one, probably a lot of our audience is feeling like, yeah, I'm kind of scared right now. Everything's changing. I was making money from InfoFi or these brands were hiring. Now it seems like, funds have dried up. There's not all this work available. What can you do? What are 3 things that you can be working on or 2 things that you can be working on to position yourself for what few opportunities they are, but also for when things come back and cycles always return, to be ready for the wave instead of looking for a surfboard at the last minute?
A couple things. Right now, while the market is slow, it's easier than ever to connect with whoever you want.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could shoot. This morning was the first time in a very long time my ex DMs, I was clear, done. I didn't have to fucking worry about that shit at all. It's done. Yeah. Right. Like that's a very rare feel. I don't normally have that. Like normally it's like daunting. Fuck. Yeah. I have so much shit to do.
Let's make a plot bot and it'll check them all.
Right. You can make it good. Right. So that's what I mean. Reaching out to people, building relationships right now is probably your one of the toppest EV things. Don't just reach out to people and ask them for jobs or ask them for money or ask them for this. Literally just set relationships, right? And also lead with I know a lot of people are have different takes on this, but I genuinely believe leading with value, right?
100%.
Go out and just do shit and that you enjoy doing.
I don't think you can succeed without that mindset. With how competitive it is right now, if you're saying, hey, I see a lot of our friends in the space that are like, oh, you better pay creators, you better do that. There's a lot of people willing to do it, and brands will give them a chance before they pay you top dollar, and these people might outperform you.
I wrote a tweet. I'm working with a brand right now on the agency side of things, to trading terminal. And one of the strategies that we're going to be using is micro KOLs, right? And specifically focused on trenchers, like meme coin trenchers and stuff. They have a limited budget, but they want people that are good and could hustle, right? They're looking at $300 to $500 per tweet or activation, depending on how small or big their account is. Potentially significantly less than that, maybe even for an ambassadorship. I made a tweet literally last night, and the tweet was yo, if you want to, you're interested in this. That tweet blew up. My DMs this morning with a bunch of people, yo, what's up? And big fucking accounts that I would think, yo, I cannot get this guy to tweet for $300. Yeah. Is yo, what's good? Connect me.
You wouldn't believe who I'm interviewing for BD positions. From top business models are failing across the board. And I think some of the big media shows, I'll say in particular, where they were charging brands $50,000 a month and it was just rolling in when VC money was pumping through the space and founders had no idea how to allocate marketing budgets. And that was the shiny thing. I think that the founders have wised up and there's creative solutions coming out like yours. And so all of those people too are God, I got to find the next thing, because this is the kind of the free ride on the gravy train is over. You are, like you were saying, the productivity economy, you got to show results now.
Yeah, it's going to be results.
The market's maturing, right?
The market's maturing. And that's the biggest thing. That's the reason we aren't where a lot of us expected us to be. And I genuinely believe that is because of capital inefficiency. When capital is inefficient, the market is inefficient. When you have people being paid $70,000 for a tweet that converts less than 4 figures in business, or not even less than $0, literally $0 in business, then it's just a waste of resources.
Brand awareness.
It's capital inefficiency. If you're operating capital in an efficient way, and that's what these types of markets and economies force, right? It's like
Yeah.
you have to be capital efficient. If you're not capital efficient, you're going to die. And companies and projects, Abstract, Polymarket, or the whole Pudgy Penguins ecosystem and team. That team, a lot of people don't know this. I met them like initially like 5 years ago. And I've known some of those
Okay.
guys even before crypto, right? So that whole team, 5 years ago when I went down to Miami to visit them or whatever, like this was right around the like few months after the acquisition. None of them had cars, bro. None, off of like a $3,000 a month salary for like the
Yeah.
first 6 months to a
Yeah.
year. I think for like a year they lived like that. Off of like
Yeah.
we're talking about the president and chief of,
Yeah.
and
Well,
head of
Michael Pang
strategy.
and Wallet Guard did the same thing. They had the
Right,
whole dev team and everybody living all together and,
right.
just
Slumming
coding
it,
and like doing the
slumming it.
thing.
Like they could barely afford Uber Eats, like they're just struggling from both
Yeah.
sides, right? And they lived like that, I would say, for at least 2 years, a year or 2 years, right? But now these same people are pretty large equity holders in a multi-billion-dollar company,
Yeah.
right? So that's what it's that's
Yeah.
what it is,
That's
like
what it takes. And we have a lot
that's
of
what it
people
takes.
coming in very entitled, like, give me a piece of this pie. And it's like, God, well, you got to earn your stripes or what, I mean, however you want to say it, but it's not a free ride here. It's work. It's harder than a real job. It's scarier than a real job. But the rewards, I think, the asymmetrical upside of the things you said at the beginning, being able to set your own schedule, being able to choose who you work with, being able to walk away from relationships that aren't healthy because you're not dependent to feed your family and take care of your kids. So I have to stay with some like abusive boss or company that doesn't, like, it's a good thing for workers over time, but I think there will be a lot of short-term pain. And those people that are willing to live in the houses, or I took my first job in the space for free just to prove that my skills translated. You have to show that value first, and that's the only way you will get your foot in the door for these opportunities. So I think that's amazing advice. What's one or two more things you'd leave us with for people trying to survive these next months?
Network as much as you can, and also I would say focus on value delivery, right? And like a lot of people see whale, like let's say like that's like a really big KOL today. A lot of people see whale like today. Again, I saw whale 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and whale 6 years ago was not whale today, right?
No.
Whale today puts out an effortless partnership tweet, whatever. He knows it, whatever.
Yeah.
The partnership tweet, he gets
Isn't
paid
even still whale,
he just gets paid a shit ton of money. It's cool, whatever.
Yeah.
That is not the whale that got to where he got to. He got to where he got to because he was writing extensive research on NFT projects daily, multiple times a day.
Yes.
Same thing with people like, let's say, like Star Platinum, right? Like, with
Yep.
all those different threads, like find your thing. Like if your thing is AI or the markets or this or that, like I think we're beyond the point of, at least for now, right, of like purely entertainment and speculation. And now people want to know, like, what do you know?
Yeah.
Why would, what information do you have that can help further accelerate someone's productivity at the end of the day? So I would say networking, harnessing on your own sort of skill sets, and whatever those skill sets are. There are a lot of different tools and resources out there available. You could literally start vibe coding tomorrow. You can start making graphics tomorrow. And a lot of times people wait and like reserve on like doing things because they're like, well, nobody's paying me to do things. Well,
Yeah.
the truth is, if you're not doing things, nobody will pay you to do things because
Yeah.
you have no do things. It's pretty simple. Third thing, last thing is I would say is I want to try to figure like the best way of saying this, but almost like health, right? Like but like beyond health, like purpose, like doing all of this is great. Yeah, you're connecting with people. Yeah, you're honing your resources. But now, why are you doing it? Why?
I'm a big fan of Joseph Campbell, who wrote extensively on the history of myth and all these different things. But something he said that I really loved is you find your bliss and you follow it. And that's like your meaning.
Yeah.
You chase your bliss. And like, I think a lot of us here have found, our core whys. And for me, decentralizing access, I think the world and politics and all of this stuff has become so garbled that it takes a new medium, a new system to really make any meaningful change. So if like you're saying, your why, it doesn't, you can bear almost any how. I think that's actually a famous line from Viktor Frankl.
So I think of it as like your guiding star, right? Like if you don't have that North Star, that guiding light, then you don't know where you're going. You're just gonna get lost along the way. And for me, I'm an investor at mind. Like I'm not building anything or anything like that. Like I'd really admire
building this
people like you
show, Mike.
that
You're
are
building a
building.
show. You're building a platform.
I guess
This
I
is
don't see myself
distribution.
as a builder though. Like
You're building you're
here.
building a distribution platform. At the end of the day, this is a distribution platform. I talked to a good friend of mine earlier today. I don't want to say details, whatever, but talked to a really good friend of mine earlier today, and one of the pieces of advice I gave them was
I'll be DMing
one
you
of the
after
pieces
this.
of advice I gave them was to start doing live streams and podcasts like this, because the reality is every single time you have a new guest on, you're broadening the scope, and it's very small, right? It's very, very small, but in a large enough quantity and throughout a longer duration of time, that compounds very quickly, right? Like you might have maybe hopefully got a few new people that are even aware of the show today, right? And then
For
if
sure.
next time you get somebody else on, you're gonna
You
get
were a
somebody
good get. When you said yes, I was like, oh.
Fuck it. Yeah.
But that
thanks
is
for having me.
true. Yeah, no,
enjoyed it.
it's always a pleasure to have on, good friends. We've had, Josh Ong and Michael K and so many good people that I've met along the way. And you are definitely in that class of, just leaders from when I came into the space in 2021 that I have watched do things the right way, that genuinely care about the space and where we're headed, and are being thought leaders and thinkers and doers, and not just commenting on other people's failures and downfalls. And we need more people like you in the space. So anytime, I can show some of my friends and followers like, hey, this is one of the good ones. Like if you follow just a couple accounts, you could probably make it here. Mute everybody else and just follow the people we have on the show. Well, thank you again, Faded. This has been amazing. How can people check out Clipper University real quick? If they are a brand or a Clipper, where do they go?
They're a brand or Clipper. Literally just go to clipper.com right here, right there. Go to clipper.com, sign up to the waitlist, clipur.com, clipper.com. Sign up to the wait list. We are, for brands, we're reaching out like individually. We're going to be, I want to make sure who's going to be coming on there using it.
I'm probably going to be calling you after that. You sold me on the show. So.
And then for Clippers, it's the same thing. We've let in over 300 already. I'm going to bring them in by waves. So for any Clippers, if you're still on the wait list, we will be adding more, like approving more. As the alpha goes live, and we have campaigns going live, right? So if there's a bunch of campaigns going live, then I'm going to approve basically more people as there are more quantities of campaigns. There's no point in me approving 1,000 people if, let's say, we go live and there's 3 campaigns. There's no point in doing that. So we're going to be building it slowly but surely. I genuinely believe this could solve a significant amount of problems within the space and make capital significant, like more efficient. That's my ultimate goal with this. Started as solving my own problem. Great. I think pretty fucking close to that at this point. Pretty close. And then the next stage is solving other people's problems, right?
Yeah. Making crypto companies actually maybe viable because they're not wasting all this money in all the wrong places,
No, and then they have full transparency. They have their own reporting. Nobody gets paid unless you sign off on it. So
yeah, okay. Unheard of. I don't even know if I believe you yet. That's just,
no, serious. That's literally how it works. Because
Yeah.
I thought about it when I was engineering, like when I was putting together the product. So last thing here, and I'll just kind of tell you how this whole thing came together.
Yeah.
I'm doing it as a JV with this venture studio. They've actually built a lot of very successful products in the crypto space.
Very cool.
So happy enough to do that. But as far as like the ideation of like the actual product stuff, I'm the one that's doing all this day-to-day work. So I'm dealing with all these headaches, and I'm like really, really curating this as far as like what that output looks like.
Yeah.
So it's been a very like individualized sort of task. But the goal is I want to make it simple and easy enough where I can onboard a brand, and if they want to just run it themselves, I can spend 15, 20 minutes, teach them how to do it, and then they're
Yeah.
off to the races,
Yeah. Well, you're solving a huge problem. I'm excited to see where this goes. Let the clipping wars commence. I guess that's going to be the next thing we're all talking about is who's doing it right. But very bullish on you guys and what you're doing. Also at Bing Bong. Can't wait till the next event. Thank you again for coming on. Have a wonderful
Appreciate
evening, and we will see you around the timeline.
Yeah. See you guys. Ciao. Thanks for having me. Peace.
Thanks for
Likewise.
coming
Have a
on.
good night.
You too.
All right. Well, that was great.
That
That's
was
actually-
great. I almost, because I'm so used to meetings all day, I was just like, click. I almost left.
Dude,
ya.
honestly, it's a really I like when you talked about the whole Andrew Tate thing and the distribution. I'm like, oh man, that works. And I've seen it like on Twitch, like people streaming on Twitch, that people just big streamers are just hiring clippers to
Yeah.
help their stuff go viral. And again, you're right, distribution is the way to go.
Yeah.
But
Are you
I
gonna
love
be a
it.
clipper,
Great
Mike?
guy. Hopefully, pardon me.
Are you gonna clip? Are you gonna do some clipping?
Start
Start with our show.
the heck you just
That's
start our show. I'm out.
Going out full force
Oh,
tonight.
just dropping the mic over here, dude. I know the clipping. It's hard, man. Like it's just it's a time constraint for me to keep the wife happy, spend time with
Yeah.
her, and clip like especially now, like I'm doing the VDEX beginner tutorial videos, and I got like a system where I can manage now. And even
Yeah.
like this week when it's her birthday, so like I usually have the videos come out Mondays, but they came out today because I had
Yeah.
to film it
Did
yesterday.
it
but
come
like,
out today?
it did. Episode
Tag me in
episode
them.
9.
Just like tag me
I
in
did.
them on
I put you in. I put VDEX tagged every time.
Yeah,
when
but I'm
there's a
not.
new one.
Jose is actually our current social media manager.
Oh, okay.
He kind of sucks, but I'm doing.
Wow.
No, he just
Fire.
obviously he's also the CEO, the CTO, head of product, head of
He was saying he's got a lot of hats in the chat today. Yeah.
And one of them is, currently we just are shifting our gaining public attention away for the time being, onboarding some really amazing BDs and building up that pipeline before we have some fun new things to talk about again on the timeline. And we'll get that top of funnel attention back and have a good BD team behind us pushing and running the engine, feeling the engine. I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm out of metaphors for the evening, but it's been real.
I've reached my quota for
Good note to end it on.
Yeah. Well, great episode. Great chatting with you again, and great chatting with our guest. The markets are shit, so we're not going to go and bother you guys with it. Everyone's already like
I
tired
would
and
cry
typing
at
on
this.
the
If you
timeline.
showed me any charts right now, just the red candles would.
Yeah, I'm not showing charts, but tomorrow I will be streaming with J Chains, most likely for the Live Trade Warriors. So tune into that.
Yes.
We'll go through the charts, and maybe we'll look for a trade. But we'll see you guys next week for episode 29 of the Adoption Pod.
Amazing. Have a good night.
All right, take care, everybody.
Turn it up one more time. You already know what it is. Yeah. Yo, we back at the end. Yeah, that that's wild. And the episode down, add it to the file. From the stories to the laughs to the real talk too. You pulled up, press play, let us ride with you. Crypto convos, guests from everywhere. Big ideas, real voices in the air. If you made it this far, then you already know we're building for the future, watch adoption grow. Let's go! This is Adoption Pod. Yeah, yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. Thank you. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Click, click, click. We'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Yeah, we love this squad. We do. To the next upload drop. Next one. Keep the fam love running non-stop. Adoption Pod. Shout out the parents, the kids, the crew, the ones in the system. Yeah, we see you too. Every voice, every journey, every eye got through. You the reason that we do what we do. From the first time listeners to the day one strong. If you learn one thing, then we did our job. Mass adoption, one combo at a time. Tapping next week, yeah, you know the vibe. This is Adoption Pod. Yeah, yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Don't forget, we'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Let's go! Yeah, we love this squad. Family. To the next upload drops. Keep the fam love running non-stop. From your couch, from your car, late night scroll. If you laughed, if you learned, then we hit that goal. Drop a comment, a story that you wanna explore. We'll be back next week with a little bit more. Let's go! This is Adoption